What's up guys, welcome to Daily Refinement. In today's video we're going to address one of my most commonly asked questions, which is how do I avoid Vero? So in this video we're going to go over what is Vero, I'm going to go over what brands end people's listings on eBay, we're going to go over how to avoid it, and also this video is sponsored by Zeek Analytics, so we're going to go over in this video how to use their tool to educate yourself on how to avoid those brands. So I appreciate you guys, please smash the like button, consider subscribing, we'll see you inside. We're going to start with what the Verified Rights Program, or Vero, is. So essentially what this does is it allows companies who have their own brand to end other people's listings on eBay if they're misusing their trademarks. So the most common one that I see is when you use stock photography. So as an example, the KitchenAid mixer, it's very common, most people have it. We'll put a picture of it here. If you list this mixer with the stock photos, it only takes a few minutes for KitchenAid to actually remove your listing because they spent probably thousands of dollars taking that photograph and they own the rights to that photo and you don't. I've even seen them end people's listings from just copying and pasting the specifics of the item from KitchenAid.com. So yeah, it's important to understand brands own pieces of their intellectual property and they always have the right to end your listing for a few different reasons. They might think it's counterfeit, they might think it's a replica. Also, if you're presenting it in a really poor fashion, like it's at 50% off and the pictures are really blurry, they might think that you're trying to do something shady. So if you are going to list an item like that, I definitely recommend that you use your own pictures, be as accurate as possible, use your own words, don't use any of their brand beyond just the name of the brand and what it is, although there are some brands where you cannot even use those words or those brands at all, and I'll go over some of those commonly ended items later in this video, but it's important to understand that we do not actually have the rights to sell these items on eBay unless you are an authorized distributor. Being an authorized distributor means you have written permission from the brand or a distributor that gives you permission to sell their brand. If you have that agreement, you most likely also have MAP pricing, which means you have to sell the item at a certain amount. So if the brand is going to give you permission to sell their items, they want you to maintain a certain level of standard in your store, and they want you to maintain their pricing. They're not going to give you brand new KitchenAid so that you can sell for 50% off. That degrades their brand. If they're going to give you brand new KitchenAid, you have to sell it for the retail price, unless they're doing a manufacturer's coupon. In that case, you can offer a little bit of a better deal, but that's why Best Buy, Target, Walmart all have the same price on an item because they're authorized dealers, and you will actually see this button on eBay when you are an authorized seller, and it gives customers more trust because they believe you because you're a reputable dealer of that item. Also, one more thing it allows you to do is you could offer a warranty. Otherwise, you can't offer the manufacturer warranty unless you're an authorized distributor for them. So there are people who offer seller refurbishment, seller manufacturer's warranty. That's not the same thing. It's still a gray market item. A good example of that would be Blendtec and Vitamix. Both of those blenders, they authorize sellers on eBay to refurbish them themselves, so they can buy returned blenders, fix them up, put them out there, offer the customer a 1-year warranty, 90-day warranty, whatever they want to do. But that's still third party and outside of the regular brand, and they will not get that sticker that says authorized dealer. So it's important to understand when you're buying a high-end item, let's say you're buying a high-end outerwear or high-end kitchen appliances that may come with a lifetime warranty, you will not get that warranty buying it from a third party on eBay. So remember, verified rights owner, eBay is always going to side with them because they don't want that brand completely banned off of eBay. And it's happened. There are a few brands like OtterBox that are very, very difficult to sell on eBay. Even in used condition, you cannot sell those items. So certain words are trademarked, certain brands are trademarked. Just be careful out there. We'll go over some of those examples now. So I'm going to go over a list of commonly ended items from Vero. So number one is going to be any third-party copy of something, like, for example, printer ink is a big one. So Brother, Canon, they spend big bucks on giving their printers away and just making money on the ink. So if there's a third-party copy of the ink, that is not authorized. And that's the same thing as when it comes to, like, even printer paper. If you're copying a brand's name, like let's say I personally use a Rollo printer. If you use a Rollo printer and you have unauthorized copies of the fanfold labels and you use the word Rollo compatible, those can be ended. Nintendo compatible, those can be ended. Air Jordan 2 matching shorts, you can't use those words. So any third-party use of a major brand name, those are probably going to be ended. Don't sell water filters. Water filters are also something that are highly counterfeited, so I personally would stay away from them. Anything OtterBox, we mentioned earlier P90X and Beachbody DVDs. I don't recommend selling anything that you could be held responsible for, so no prescription drugs, no over-the-counter drugs, no medical equipment, CPAP machines specifically, anything prescription you might want to avoid. Even prescription glasses can sometimes be kind of iffy, so I would avoid that. Also, since we're talking about liability, make sure that you have that choking hazard sticker on certain poly bags if you're going to be in that category. I would avoid anything with the word CBD in it, anything with the avoid weed. I would avoid marijuana. I would avoid alcohol. You'll see people selling bottle-only bottles of alcohol. Like, you guys remember the hat that I wear that says Pliny the Elder? People are selling empty bottles of it. I would not trade alcohol across state lines. I think that's a felony. So stay away from alcohol, tobacco, weapons. Don't sell that kind of stuff. Try to avoid Monster Energy and Monster Energy logos. I know Coca-Cola can come after people too if they think it's a reproduction. Don't use the word onesie, and don't use the word Velcro. And then anything obviously that seems too good to be true, I would avoid. One more thing that I want to mention is there's a lot of counterfeit old stock and represented as new stock. So new old stock, meaning this is something that's vintage or old, and it's not actually vintage or old, it's just reproduced now. So any of that reproduction stuff that's set up or advertised as brand new, that stuff's going to be ended, and it's definitely a violation of the verified rights owner. So that's not a comprehensive list, it's just some of the major ones. So here's a question. How come some people can list an item and not get their items listed, but you got your item listed on eBay? Now the reason, let's quote Tech and Sports, my buddy. Tech and Sports says that everybody speeds, but not everybody gets caught. And I agree with that. So even if you have an item that you get away with, you actually sold it and you actually delivered it to the customer, believe it or not, you can still get a Vero violation. So as an example, I had a Pikachu shirt that I listed that was not authorized by Nintendo. I did not realize it was a fake until after I had already listed it. So in that scenario, Tech and Sports recommended that I remove, or before removing the item, change the pictures out because you don't want any pictures of unauthorized copies as well on eBay. So I removed all the pictures and inserted something else, changed the title, changed the item specifics, removed all that unauthorized stuff from the listing, and then I ended the listing so that there's no evidence of that and they can come back and get you. So P90X, that's one of the brands that really comes after people. I think it's called Beachbody. Those DVDs, if you list it, you're going to get ended and you're going to get a Vero slap from eBay saying, do not sell this type of item. The brand has basically banned all copies of them online and says that anybody selling them outside of the major brand is selling counterfeit, duplicate. And because it's a CD DVD, it's very hard to prove. So they basically just banned that entire item off of eBay. So it's important to understand some people will still sell P90X on eBay even though it's not allowed because it's a very expensive product. And if you're selling a $600 program for $40 for a used copy, it's going to instantly sell. But even if you quote unquote get away with it, you're not really getting away with it because when they go back and sweep the site, they'll see that you've sold it before and you'll get a strike. So if you get too many Vero violations, eBay will give you a suspension, either 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month, or permanent suspension. So it's important to understand, do not accumulate these. I don't have proof of this, but I do believe Vero violations fall off after about 1 calendar year. I've gotten a few over the years. I think I got one for a pair of Chanel flats. I was not able to, eBay wasn't sure whether or not they were authentic and they removed it. Based on the authentication services that I had used, it was real. So now anything I sell at Chanel, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, I will send to the real instead. Let them do all the authentication, let them list it, and let them take the risk for the item. All I'm doing is thrifting, finding an item, doing the best I can, but doing the best you can, not good enough on eBay. If you do not have a long reputation of selling a brand, you most likely will still get a Vero. And this also happens with items like PlayStation, Xbox. It's very suspicious if you have 10 or 5 of these brand new things. That's very difficult to get one of. And remember, if you sell one item like that and you get some kind of a defect or a return item not as described, those are weighed more heavily than a brand that's like mostly in my store, which is common mall brands. So common mall brands, These items sell for between $20 and $100 at the mall. The resale value of it is probably between $5 and $30. So these types of brands generally do not come after the people reselling them, especially in used condition. That's one of the reasons why I sell in that category. So instead of putting a target on my back and selling really high-end items, I aim for more common items to avoid that risk. So hopefully that makes sense for people, but Vero is one of those situations where if you know, you know, and that's where you have to slowly build up your Rolodex so you remember, okay, do not list things with the word Velcro. So I asked Christine yesterday if she knew the generic term for Velcro, and she wasn't sure, but it's hook and loop. So the fastener technology is called hook and loop technology. Velcro is the brand name of it, just like Kleenex is the brand name for tissue. So Kleenex does not have that rule on eBay. They would not remove your Kleenex listing from my understanding, but Velcro will. So some brands will, some brands won't. You need to slowly start making a list in your brain. Also, in our Facebook group, we have a very, very comprehensive list of brands to stay away from. Over 2,000 people contribute to that list because they're trying to just continuously upgrade and avoid. Oh, I remember. The most recent violation that I had was the brand Averex. I sold the brand Averex. I sold a sweater. They did not actually end my listing. They sent me a message saying, you are not authorized to sell this, please remove it. And I did. So that was the last warning that I got, was that brand Averex. So now I don't sell it on eBay anymore. So that's just slowly how you do it. It is part of selling on this platform, is making sure you understand all the rules, regulations, and it's a lot to soak in as a beginner. So don't worry, but just make sure you do your research and do your homework and you should be fine. All right, guys, so this is the most powerful part of Zeek Analytics, in my opinion, which is product research. Because essentially, once you figure out what products to sell, then you can start looking for them. But tools like this are really powerful. So I would recommend clicking the magnifying glass here on the left, which is product research. Now I'm gonna give you guys a category that sells well all year round, which is jackets. So I typed in jacket. Zeek Analytics is gonna do its thing, do the research on eBay to figure out what's selling really well. And you can see, as I'm going to scroll down here, what we're looking for today is what brands to sell and what brands to stay away from. So in here, you can see there is a red exclamation point that shows when the brand might have a lot of Vero, a lot of restrictions, a lot of counterfeits. So right off the bat, you can see Adidas. So Adidas, for me personally, they have never ended a listing of mine, but it is highly counterfeited. So I would not recommend, I would steer away from selling large volumes of Adidas for a couple of reasons. One, Adidas is a heavy reseller on eBay themselves. So they're competing, you're competing against them. They're selling the same styles for $39.99, $49.99, free shipping, free returns. Very difficult to compete with Adidas. Another brand, Superdry, you can see here, very, very good seller. You can see 246 of these sold recently. Does not have the Vero violation, and I've never had any issues with Superdry. All of these different words that you see here are not red. They will highlight in red words that are highly counterfeited or subject to potential Vero violations. I know there's a lot of fake military stuff. It's showing here that the brand red, or the color red, brings up some Vero, but I've never had anything ended for that. So that must be some specific brand that has red in their name, and that's come up with it. So more Adidas. The word tactical has come up a few times, and now we have, let's see, Coach. So the reason why Coach is brought up is because of the handbag. So even though this is a men's lightweight Coach jacket, as the style, the word Coach might actually bring up a Vero violation. Just like you can't sell ivory on eBay. If you put the color ivory, it actually puts your listing into a bit of a lower ranking on the website. So you want to avoid words like ivory. I would just put off-white. So Coach, you can see here brands that have less of it are, let's say, River's End, men's smoking jacket. Here, so this surprises me that the North Face doesn't have a Vero sticker on it, because they are notorious for ending listings. So here's one that is in here that's not highlighted with a red exclamation point. So this is obviously not a comprehensive list. It's just helping you build brand awareness of what to avoid and what words to try to stay away from. And if you've seen a lot of items selling, then it would be something that you could keep an eye out for. So here, Gore-Tex is something that you find on a lot of jackets and outerwear. It does not have the red exclamation point. But when I typed in Velcro earlier, every single listing had a red exclamation point on it saying, do not list this. So it's definitely something to consider. Levi's here, not showing it. Under Armour showing it is a Vero word. So Under Armour, Tommy Hilfiger, and Columbia all under scrutiny here for some listings. So you may have not been jammed up by these brands before on eBay, but it doesn't mean that there aren't people trying to sell counterfeit versions of this. So just be careful. Legendary Whitetails, looks like it brought up a red flag. So what I would do is search through the categories that you're looking for and start educating yourself with these red exclamation points and building that database in your brain so you can start avoiding Veros in the future. And from my experience, usually you do not get suspended from 0 to 2 Vero violations per year if it's legitimately an honest mistake. Worst case scenario, like for the brand Montclair, I've seen instant 30-day suspensions before. So just be careful. They're doing that to make the brand happy. It's not something personal that eBay has with you. They're just a robot. There are legal interns that work at every single one of these companies looking for counterfeit copies. This is their first year at work at a big company, and there's no penalty for them ending an item that actually is authentic because they're just doing the best that they can. So you have to understand those people are in a position to end as many listings as possible to protect their brand. So you need to do the opposite and present the items in the best light that you can to avoid having the authenticity questioned. So if you guys have any questions, I would check out the Zeek Analytics tool for a $1 trial, or you can reach out to me at chris@dailyrefinement.com if you have more questions on this tool. But I've been using Zeek Analytics for a while. It's where I get a lot of the statistics on my YouTube channel about the different items. Like I found out from them that 50% of items on eBay sell for under $12 and 90% of stuff on eBay sells for under $30. So once I realized that, I wanted to be more of an everyday value kind of seller. So I appreciate you guys. Please smash the like button, consider subscribing. Take care.